Hi, everyone. Today is July 16th, 2025, and this is the International Outreach Think Tank meeting. I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And before we get started on topics on our agenda, I'm going to uh, first ask for a volunteer to read the Bivens. Do we have somebody that would want to read that?
Yeah, I can do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Do you need me to pull it up or you got one there?
No, I got it. This is Bivens' decision versus 6 unknown agents. This meeting is private, bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in a public forum is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, or city township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for the first time? I'm hearing nothing. This meeting is private, bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in a public forum is forbidden, shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, township agency present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for a second time? Third time? Anyone who is here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid, coerced to be here, must be disclosed. They must disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises or conference call. If they subsequently show up as federal witnesses, they are discredited for failure to disclose. Are you now or have you ever received money or personal support of any kind from the intelligence community? Upon no response, this notice of the Bivens decision, this meeting shall not proceed.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam.
Yep.
All right. And I'm going to start us off with a little prayer. So here we go. Dear Almighty Creator, thank you for gathering us together here tonight. We seek your blessings upon our discussions tonight. Grant us the wisdom to engage in meaningful conversations that lead to productive outcomes. May our words be filled with grace and our ideas be fruitful. In Yeshua's name, we pray this. So be it. All right. Okay. Let's get right into, this. We got old business. So I did want to give a little update on the latest podcast I did with the American States Assemblies. I interviewed New Hampshire. They were so much fun. And I really enjoyed getting to know them and to, just give a platform for their assembly and just a great group of people. And it's a hopefully everybody got a chance to see it and get to meet their assembly members. They really got some really good folks there. And one of their members, he usually attends our meetings, but he he gave a really heartfelt letter that his grandfather left him, in his, upon his death. I guess it was a letter that his grandfather wrote him years before he died. And, anyway, it was a great story. It was kind of quite um, surprising that his grandfather kind of could foresee what was going to happen today, and actually even know that his grandson would be amongst those of us who are stepping up and taking the position of our lawful government and getting us back on track. So it was a great interview. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you guys just listen to it and watch it. It was, like I said, it was really a pleasure to get to know them. And also, if anybody hasn't been on the podcast, if your state assembly hasn't been on the podcast yet, just reach out to me. Everybody's got my email by now, and let's get you guys scheduled. You don't have to be in perfect standing. In fact, we had Hawaii on, and there was only two people representing Hawaii, and I think there was a total of five at the time standing on Hawaii. And after their podcast, I want to say it was maybe 5 months later, one of the ladies, Melissa, had said that they grew to about 28. So anyway, that was really encouraging, and it's nice to know that we're getting the word out. Um, all right. I also wanted to review our shared resources. At the bottom of the agenda, when I send out the agenda, I list all the resources. We have our Telegram page link on there. We have both iStrive accounts for education material and outreach material. I have both links for both channels for the podcast on there. And I have the 1776 Union YouTube channel where Louise posts all these meetings up there along with the progress of the project. And then I also have on here claimyourinheritance.info because it was launched July 1st. And we're going to talk a bit more about the that project in a little bit, but I just wanted to mention that it was launched. Anna did give us her blessing to do so, and she also said that not everything up there has to be perfect. She gave us the green light to go ahead and launch it without her really reviewing all the material because there's so much material. She did review the video that's up there. So everything that's on that video, actually, I think Louise started with 15 minutes of a video, and because Anna added things, the video then, expanded into where it is now, which is, 30 minutes, roughly. But everything that's in the video was edited and added and approved by Anna. But she did tell us that she wasn't able to get through all the material, and that as we go along, if we find mistakes, we can just simply correct them. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that so that we could relax a little bit. It seems to be that there's a lot of maybe anxiety or, something that people are feeling with the fact that maybe some of the material isn't 100%. And so I just wanted to let everybody know that it is okay. Anna says it's okay that we have the stuff up there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And when we find the mistakes, we will correct them. So that's that. Does anybody have any questions on any of the old business before we shuffle into new business? All right, we're going to go right into new business. Anybody that's got a question or a comment or anything, just raise your hand or unmute yourself and say, may I? So new business, I did have something up here for self-governing. I know on New Jersey, and we've got a couple of our people on this call tonight from New Jersey. We did this as a part of our education piece, and we're probably going to add it to our orientation, what it actually means to be self-governing. And our presentation, you can find it on our YouTube channel if you guys want to look. It's open to the public to view. But basically, it's starting with yourself and how you show up. The words you choose to say when you're speaking, and not everybody has to be perfect. We all, sometimes if something's going on in our life, we don't always show up in the best way. But we're always trying to be mindful of how we're showing up in the world and how we're speaking to each other. I know that this is part of our journey as becoming state nationals because we've been living in a society that has forced us to lie, steal, cheat, and manipulate to basically survive within the matrix. So there's a lot of undoing from the damage that's been done. And so I did want to touch a bit because this is all ties into self-governing. Last month, there was some feathers ruffled a little bit because there was some content that went out with the link for our meeting that wasn't reviewed by me. And so when I got questioned on the material, I honestly just said I didn't review it. And so it seems as though there was some type of belittling that was going on because I didn't review something and I sent it out. And so I just wanted to touch on this because, quite honestly, something that, if Louise is sharing her notes or sharing something that goes along with the project, I'm entrusting that what she is sending me is is for a reason, and so I think we have to also get to the point where and again, if I did review it, I didn't think that there was an issue because I know that Luis was trying to make a point with trying to get some clarity on a process that was taking place on her assembly at the time. And so it wasn't to disparage or to throw anybody under the bus. It was basically to say, hey, this is what happened. I'd like to know, because if we're going to show up as a competent government, I need to know if this is the correct process. So anyway, that was the point of her sharing this document. And so I just wanted to, touch on that I think that it's important that to expect that, we need to trust each other as well. And we're all coming here as state nationals, and it's not my job to censor anything that you're sharing, because this is just a bunch of state nationals coming together, sharing information, sharing ideas, talking about processes, and it's not up to me to police the information being shared. And so I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And I see Denise, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks, Tammy. The share that Louise made really strengthened my knowledge about the assembly, and not only the positions and the roles and what their authority is, but what it isn't. So when people share things, even though the potentially, you always want to share something, particularly if it's on your assembly, when the person will be able to perhaps rebut it, right? But in this particular situation, that process had been well defined and developed, and Louise showed us how every step along the way, it resulted in the whatever we found out. So I appreciated Louise sharing that, and it strengthened me. And I think we all should do that. I yield.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And so I think that we have to start entrusting each other and know, and, if there is an issue, we can clear it up. This isn't, detrimental to somebody's life, right? This is, it's not between life or death where you have to get something right. But we're just trying to create processes and make sure that we're showing up as a competent government, especially if we're to expect the public to take us seriously. So, that's that. Anybody else before I head to the next topic? All right. YouTube tutorial for calendar creation. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch this, and I just wanted to touch on this. And I think I could probably share it if you guys want me to, but I'm just going to explain. For us, I have been trying to, get somebody on our assembly that could put a calendar together where all of the links for all of our meetings could go on this calendar and it could be shared. So there wasn't anybody that stepped up. And so I just was like, I don't know how to do this. I think I'm just going to try to figure this out. And there was this YouTube video. I know most of us are using Canva for a lot of our materials. And so this was how to build a calendar. And it was basically a monthly planner. So you create it like a book, and each page, it's like a virtual planner where it has tabs. And so if you click on the tab, it opens that month and you could view the month at a glance, where then you have the link where you could simply just click on the link and it brings you right to the meeting. So anyway, I thought that would be a great thing for all of our assemblies maybe to utilize, especially when we have a lot of meetings. I think Adam just said, I just had a meeting. I'm sure a lot of us are coming off of one meeting and heading into another, and it's busy times. So to try to keep us organized and kind of accountable, where we're not losing the links, and to make it a little bit easier anyway. I think that might be a great resource and tool for each of our assemblies. And if you guys wanted me to pull up ours, I can share that. If not, we can move right along. All right, perfect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the American Resurgence Project. And Louise, are you just putting things in the chat now?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I know there was one week, for whatever reason, the chat didn't go away. It was like not a fresh chat. It was like going back. I don't know. It was like an ongoing chat, so I was
Yeah.
confused there for a bit. Anyway, all right, you got the floor, Louise. Go ahead.
Okay, let me. I want to give you all the official launch presentation I delivered there to the strategy task force on the last meeting. They've been pivotal in getting this project launched, and so have you, the International Outreach Think Tank. So I want to present it personally to you as well. So let me share my screen here. Let me see. And I'm going to give you a short presentation. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it, Louise.
Looks good.
Thank you. The American Government Resurgence Project launched. Official launch, July 1st, 2025. I wanted to take the time to commemorate this historical moment in our government, where we have taken a shift. We've made a shift into a position where we are serious about taking our place on the world stage as who we actually are. So I want to commemorate this historical moment and present to you this official project launch, July 1st, 2025, after 17 months of development. From that time that I introduced to Anna on that coordinator call, February 2024. Anna, can I create this little postcard, and can I use the seal right here and tell the American public that we've been restored and the criminal foreign government has usurped everything and we need to get everything back in order? Can I have permission to use the Federation seal? That was 17 months ago. Yeah, I think that's okay. You can go do that, and I think going county to county, we can get our government restored, and it can be strategic. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's how it started. 17 months ago, International Outreach Think Tank invited me here. Let us hear your idea. After I gave them that postcard idea, They said, yeah, we want to do that. And then they just kept asking, is there anything else? You know, any other ideas? So from that point on, from that little postcard, the project developed from one little postcard to 6 phases. July 1st, we've launched phase 1, 1A, and 2, and phase 3 is in the making. So let's commemorate this historical moment. Let me review. Our American Government's Resurgence, the project is focused on 2 main things, 2 primary objectives. That is to gain the recognition from the American people, our employees, and the world nations as America's only government. What they know of right now is not America's government. The second objective of this project is to achieve a systemic solution to get remedy for the American people and to end the 160-year-old criminal fraud scheme being perpetrated upon us by our employees. That's what we're going to accomplish, and that's what we shifted into in a major way with this project. Now, this is something I'm having to remind myself of constantly and remind people of, is to take on the mindset, make a note to self. We are a government. We're not a private organization. We're no PMA. We're not a non-profit. We have a mission. We are a government. So we have to take on a different mindset. When we go out there in our county tours and we're standing up there in front of the American people, we need to tell them we are a government. We need to be accountable for every action that we do. We need to be competent in the things that we do. We need to be just in our interactions toward each other. We need to be accessible to the American people so that they can contact us when they need to. We need to be transparent in our government actions. We need to be knowledgeable of the history and of our laws. We need to be professional in our conduct. And we need to be organized in our public meetings, in our assembly meetings, in the things that we do so that we can demonstrate that we are a government. There are messages that we need to convey to the American public as we go out there. And that is, we are the government and America's only government. What they know now, the British territorial, the Roman municipal, are government services providers. Now, they are governments. They're just not America's government. They're our government providers. This is the message we need to make clear to them. Other messages we're going to make clear as we're out there doing our county tours. We need to make clear to them that you have a birthright, that your nationality at birth translates into your political status as an American state national. There is no citizenship in America at birth. U.S. citizenship that we know of is only by employment. We need to let them know that they have a right to assemble. And assemble what? They have a right to assemble their own communities, their own towns, and self-govern. We need to let them know they need to correct the public record that says that they're a U.S. citizen, because saying that when you're not an employee makes you an accomplice to human trafficking. We need to let them know they need to declare themselves as an American state national. Let them know that there's 3 public laws that their American government has passed that outlawed birth registrations, birth certificate bonds. It outlawed the credit theft monopoly of Federal Reserve notes, the blood money. We need to let them know that we are America's government, and they who you know are the commercial corporations, the government services providers. So you need to claim back your public and your private inheritance as an Americans, and let us explain to you how we got here, the history of what went on with the fraud. Our assemblies, as we go from county to county, is going to share these messages to our American public. There are messages we need to share with the corporations, the commercial corporations, and even some of the other corporations considered private. We need to let them know that America's government was usurped by government services corporations operating in international jurisdictions. But now they must relinquish control to the living people on the soil. These government services corporations, when we go out there to the courts, to the sheriff's office, to the governor's office, we need to let them know. We want correct your status there, posted on your walls, in your courtyards. We need to raise our peace flag up there on your flagpoles, because America's government has declared peace on the land. We need to let the hospitals know, you can no longer issue birth certificate bonds, being a proxy for the state corporations and state bureaus of vital statistics. You can no longer register birth certificate bonds and enslave infants at birth. We need to figure out how we're going to do this as we're out there telling them we are the government. We need to tell the U.S. military. Anna already told them the Federal Reserve notes have to come out of circulation. She already told them that. How are we going to transfer this governance back into our hands? Because we need to let them know that. And no substitutes, no digital fake money either can be substituted. The county recorder's office, we need to let them know. They need to start recording live births and declarations of political status for Americans. Those are our offices. Those are Americans' offices. We need to let each and every one of those officers know you will be criminally liable for human trafficking and credit theft if you don't course correct. That's what the criminal information notice of liability was for us to craft that, so that when we're out there letting them know that they need to correct their political status, letting them know that birth certificate bonds can no longer be issued, letting them know that if you don't course correct, there is a penalty. The corporations need to know this. There's messages we need to give to our law enforcement or their law enforcement. We need to let them know we're the government. Enforce your laws upon your citizenry. Leave the non-citizens alone. The public law reigns on the land, guaranteeing that you, law enforcement officer, will protect our unalienable rights. Your constitutions, your contracts that you have with the U.S. military after the Civil War that y'all crafted up behind closed doors, that made you a federalized subcontractor. So your jurisdiction is only granted to you by contractual consent only. Our jurisdiction as America's government is established by our ownership rights to this land. The American government is the employer. All the rest of you are foreign governmental services subcontractors. This is our message to the law enforcement. And if you don't course correct, we have to tell them you're personally liable for the overreach beyond your contractual and constitutional limitations. So you can no longer enforce these administrative laws on non-citizens. There will be a price to pay. Then we explain to them how we got here. In the American Government Resurgence Project ICE Drive, I've placed in there all the documents thus far for the project. The logistics of how to do your county tours are in there. These how-to guidance documents here, the initial ones I've listed here, the phase 1 and phase 2, launch overview, the pre-launch, the training modules, the checklist, and the Peacekeepers execution plan are all at that link right there. You, your county assemblies, your state assemblies have to devise your strategy. How are you going to go about executing the Resurgence Project for your assembly? You see to the right here, I have Illinois. The first thing I said to do is map out your state and design your tour. Where are you going to go first? The Resurgence Projects made the capital, the county with the capital, the governor's office in it as stop number 1 for our peacekeepers and for the assemblies. Now, you as an assembly can use your own prerogative and discretion to decide how you're going to execute the project. You may not start with the capital county. You may start with another county. But what you see on the map is I started with the capital county for Illinois and made that stop number 1. And then I put that circle as a radius of a 2-hour drive. according to the logistics in the project, I said to go from area to area within a 2-hour drive. I think that's a reasonable time to expect somebody to drive. But if you want to do a 1-hour drive, you can do that. If you want to start with the county that has the most nationals in it, you can do that. If you want to start with the county that you have a county sheriff in it already, you can do that. If you want to start with the county that has the least in it or no nationals in it, you can do that. So your assembly, your county assembly, your state assembly would have to decide what strategic plan will you deploy the project. With all the how-to guidance is all there for you. Now, we are the government, right? America's only government. So there's things we no longer have to do because we're going to shift our mindset. We no longer have to convince people that they have been accomplices to their own demise. We don't have to convince them. We just tell them. Tell them about the fraud. Tell them about the public laws that's been passed. We no longer have to live under the thumb of the corporate feudalism and government, quote unquote, oppression. The reason I put government in quotes is because we know we're the government and they're not. We no longer have to defend ourselves against their administrative law and their administrative courts. I know it seems like we do now, but shift that mindset because we're coming. We're standing up and we're going to shift that control, that governance and that control of power back into our hands. So right now, it may seem kind of difficult to know that you don't have to defend yourself, but you don't have to defend yourself. So let's shift our minds into that position and figure out how we're going to bring that into manifestation. We don't have to wonder what happened to the Constitution anymore or the Bill of Rights. We know what happened, that usurpation happened. We don't have to choose ignorance and apathy because we feel powerless to do anything about the situation because we know the corporate government is just run amok. But now that our government is restored, the actual government is restored, the corporate government is not government. So now we have the power to do something about it. We don't have to subject ourselves to the forced labor contracts to receive their monopoly money. We have our own bank. In order for sovereigns to be sovereign, they have to also be financially sovereign. We no longer have to guard our minds against the cognitive dissonance and the gaslighting to make us believe the lies because now we know the truth. We don't have to hide and be fearful of being labeled the tinfoil hat wearers and the sovereign citizens because we were right all along. We don't have to adhere to their laws requiring land titles, deeds, patents, licensing for driving, marriage licenses, and our professional licenses, voters and car registrations. Don't have to sign up for selective service for the U.S. mercenary force. Don't have to use the fiat currency monopoly money. We have American Federation dollars. A lot of things we no longer have to do. So let's shift our minds into that area where we can start creating the remedies for ourselves and for the American people.
May I?
Let me finish this here, Kimberly. Now we've launched the project phase 1A, 2, and 3 is on the way, and I didn't do it by myself. I did it with all these people's help. All of you all out there, your help. All the people in the strategy task force help. We've launched this together, and I thank you. And when I came on board the International Outreach Think Tank the first day, I told them I couldn't do it by myself. But the little thing that I was going to do by myself was nowhere near what it is now. So we've done this all together. But the thing is, we still have phases 4, 5, and 6 to complete for us to achieve our mission for 2028. That is the time frame that I gave the project for us to be able to take to the world stage in the year 2028. So we got 3 more phases to go. And Margaret in Wyoming did a special presentation for us. Well, not for us. She just did she just created it, and it's appropriate for what we need to do next. So I want to play this presentation here for us. These are her words of encouragement for all of us. So let's hear. Just a few seconds here.
It's one of our most treasured resources.
Sorry, I didn't have it
Empathy
queued up
fosters an
yet.
effective, safe
So let's make it through the commercials.
It's one of our most treasured resources. Medical weight loss is an effective, safe. We cannot fail. We are willing and able to do this work physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We have resolve and determination. We walk the talk and work every day to bring the du jour into reality. We have excellent tools to complete our work. We set realistic and achievable goals. We learn and research constantly. We have a timeline. We track our progress. We measure our strengths and weaknesses. We continually improve and revise accordingly. We conduct ourselves with peace and love. We keep the peace and uphold the public law. We report crime. We let our yes be yes and our no be no. We operate as fiduciaries under the prudent man standard. We aren't giving up. We aren't going away. We are not taking no for an answer.
That was created by Margaret. We appreciate that word of encouragement for everyone, for us, for our next.
It's one of our most
Oh,
treasured resources.
I'm sorry, I didn't stop the
Loss is an
the
effective,
thing.
safe option for many of us, but you still have questions. At Skinny RX, your trust.
Do we
is
have any more
our
volunteers to step up to the plate to finish this phases 4, 5, and 6?
USA licensed
Louise,
pharmacy.
I think you need to just click on one of your pages and close that website off.
Most customers agree.
Oh, let me
We'd like
go.
to add our
Sorry.
excellence to yours.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one that happens to.
There we go. Okay, now I can get to it.
It's all about balancing good and the bad.
Where'd it go?
Care the good.
There we go. There we go. I got it. Thank you. Thank you all for the opportunity for me to share that presentation here with you all. And it was I just wanted to make sure that I put a point in time for us to go back to say, this is when we actually started the project. And then, because months down the road from here, we're going to look back and we're going to be tracking our progress. We want to know as we go along, what's working, what's not working. How do we need to pivot here? How do we need to pivot there? That's why we need to commemorate, or that's why I wanted to commemorate this day of the launch. So we'll be able to track how well are we doing, because we're just getting started. So we have to navigate with all the strategies that we've come up with here so far to develop it to where it is now. It's in the testing grounds now. As we put our boots on the ground, we're testing out how effective the design is that we put together. And we need to be open to making changes and pivoting as we go along. So thank you for that. And thank you for your help. I appreciate that. And all the help that you're going to give from this day forward on phases 4, 5, and 6. I'll take any questions now. Kimberly.
Thank you, Louise. I'm sorry I interrupted there. I wasn't sure which format we were on. The one Tammy had said open mic and ask, or if you were needing to go through. So forgive me on my interruption. Lovely. Thank you. It's wonderful as always. I had a couple things that I think might be worth considering in the kind of the definitiveness of standing in our shoes as the government. I would offer that I think that we're the sovereign government. And I think that that really does give a good really land of why that's different. And I think it makes people go, huh, sovereign government, what's that? So I would maybe offer that adding that instead of just government and government where they can't really distinguish the two, maybe that would be helpful with that. So just wanted to offer it as consideration. And the second thing that I was going to offer, color has been part of my professional world, and I would very much consider and ask that we consider not using black as the background. There's too much black darkness in everything, and I would love to see something that's a little bit more alive in ink, and I would recommend somewhere in a blue range. I think that that is also brings peace and comfort as a psychology rather than a too much of a dark or a pull. So that would be my advice, is to lighten it up, friendly it up, and get out of their dead ink color. And so thank you for the opportunity to speak. I yield.
Thank you, Kimberly. Annette?
Thank you so much for taking the time out to help inspire us, and believe me, you do. I also want to send a shout out to Tammy for your having my back on the meeting, or on the what do you call it, telegram post for the assemblies this week. The question is, we used those brochures, and by the way, they are spectacular, and posted it on the telegram for the assemblies. And as Tammy knows, all hell broke loose. They were telling us we couldn't use those, we better just throw our money in the garbage, that they're garbage, we can't use those, that we don't have permission. And maybe I could let Tammy finish that sentence. Would you do that for me, Tammy?
Sure. I think, and I have to actually try to remember also that not everybody is following the project. So, if I can keep that in mind, then perhaps I'm not, I'll refrain from getting frustrated, because I feel like this has been a topic that's been already addressed on multiple occasions. So, I try to remember that not everybody is following. So I try to show grace, but I think today I just got a little frustrated. But I tried to set the record straight, is that this project has been supported by Anna, and that she did give us permission. Otherwise, we wouldn't be using it. I also have gotten into some discussions with people, for whatever reason, I really don't know what I think there's some fear that by trying to get our counties assembled, that it's going to take away precious attention from our state. And I think that that's very close-minded thinking. I think that it's very clear that we have to get the state standing first, but that if you have motivated people that are willing to work in both the state and the county, who are we to tell them, no, you can't? And so I love, and I support getting our counties up, and for those people who are just, maybe worried that it's going to take away time and focus from getting the state assembling, I would just say that perhaps it's an open discussion. What do you do when you're fearful of something, right? You have to start asking questions. And why am I afraid? Where is this fear stemming from? And the fear that, maybe if I could take a stab at it, is that, they want to get their state assembly fully functioning. And there's a fear that, people can't do both. And so anyway, I would just say that if that's the problem on your state, then that needs to be an open discussion with the people that are serving on the county, and basically saying, will you be able to have the time to do both? Because we really need to put a focus on the state, and there should be a discussion. We're all coming to the table as adults, You know, we have to be respectful and treat each other as such. And so there has been some discussion. There was a few negative comments about the project. And so I tried to encourage people that instead of just shutting it down and bashing it and just criticizing it, perhaps you could give us something that we could work with. And so, we did try to clear up the fact that the seal was approved. There was somebody that actually cleared that up and explained it a little bit more better than I could. So I really appreciate that, Brian, I believe on Oklahoma. But there was a few things there. I finally got some constructive criticism, and I think it's worth the discussion here. But one is sovereign men, and I believe that this was from the video, Louise. Sovereign men and women do not rule over other sovereign men and women. We all self-govern together to ensure that all the people and their assets are protected and enforce natural law. This is much different than, quote, ruling. So, I think there was a part maybe early on about the people, maybe ruling or whatever. I don't remember verbatim what it was. And then the second criticism from this woman was the sovereignty that William Belcher secured for all Americans born on the land and soil was political sovereignty. We all, as the people living and breathing on this earth, have absolute natural sovereignty, meaning that unless we subject ourselves to any form of government, American or otherwise, we are all free to do as we please, so as long as we don't infringe on anyone else's rights. So that was, something, and I thanked her because clearly that is something we can work with. So anyway, I don't know, Louise, if you want to touch on those two pieces, to have some clarity there.
Yeah, so yeah, I always appreciate everybody's input, constructive criticisms, inspirations, just little things that you might say. Sparks inspiration in my mind. Takes me on takes me places like, oh yeah, that's how the project came about. When y'all say something, some constructive criticism, comments, input, oh yeah, I know where that goes. That's a good idea. And I know where to put it. The comments that Tammy is reading, as far as ruling, I think that anything about all that section about ruling and the sovereignty of the Belchers, Anna put all that in there because she knows that, and I didn't know all that information. But as she put it together, I understand perfectly what she's saying, and that in the video it says you only have the sovereignty to rule over your own body and nobody else's. She said that. That's what the video says, and that's I think that's what the person, if they saw the video, they saw her say that sovereignty, and it's a special form of sovereignty, and she used that term, a special form of sovereignty. So she's not talking about natural and sovereignty you're born with. It is the political sovereignty that she's talking about in the video, and that's why she called it special form of sovereignty that the Belcher conferred upon us, a political sovereignty. That's the special form of sovereignty in your own right that was conferred. So it has, we're not even talking about anything natural or God-given in this video. Yeah, I yield.
Awesome. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate it. Anybody else have any questions? I mean, I will say I did have my hand up, but then you already covered it, Louise, is that on our state, we decided that we were going to approach the counties by the population. And this way, we could also solicit help from the state nationals within that county. And we're hoping that that does twofold, that it will help us to get help from state nationals because, as we all know, everybody loves the benefits of being a state national, but not everybody is willing to do the work to get the government standing. So we're hoping that this builds some bridges and creates a space to invite those to kind of be a part of their government, even if it's just to organize a county tour. So that's kind of what we're doing. And Patisa, who's on the call tonight, she's drafted an email and a letter and a phone script to contact the state nationals on the county and basically explain to them that we're going to be doing county tours and we're starting with your county first, and then try to solicit their help and see where that goes, and then maybe even from there, if they get to meet each other at this event, maybe they'll be more apt to kind of get together and start assembling in their county too. So there's great benefit, I feel like, for doing it that way, for us anyway. And Annette has her hand up. Go ahead, Annette.
Thank you. By the way, has anyone checked on Anna? They had a massive earthquake up there today,
No, I didn't know that.
and there's a tsunami warning.
Gosh. Yeah, and it's getting dark here.
So no one has checked? Just asking.
I'm checking now.
Thank you. Okay, the letter for the WHO, the World Health Organization, I just wanted to double check, and I don't know if this is asking you or if it needs to be asked to Anna, but has anyone crafted a template for us all to send that out, or has Anna already done that on our behalf?
So there were, from my understanding, or from my understanding, there has been a few drafts that were shared. I put our draft from the New Jersey Assembly in the chat, so you're more than welcome to grab that. But I believe that you're on Florida, right, Annette?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, I do believe, because I believe Ralph was one that shared your template from Florida. So I believe Ralph is already on it. I
Spectacular.
believe both Illinois and Florida were amongst the few that shared their templates.
Okay, that is great news. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I will say, if Ralph and Lucas is listening, thank you guys for being the first to draft those letters and sharing them. Very grateful for your contribution. They were very well written, and thank you. Anybody else for any questions about the project? Is anybody on the call tonight? Are they already in discussions and planning to roll out steps 1 and 1A or 1 and 2?
May I?
Yeah, go ahead, Annette.
Okay, so we were very blessed that we had one of our members pay for 1,000 brochures, and we are getting them out to all the different counties that have organizers at this point. And my question was for Louise, is it okay that it says Marion County on there because they don't have budgets, nor are their counties very organized at this point?
Yes, Marion County. You mean on the brochure where it has, where you can put your assembly on it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is okay? All right. They were
Yeah.
just wanting to clarify because they just don't have the budgets. They don't have the manpower. They don't have anything really, a lot of them. And we wanted them to be able to look professional. So we were handing those out. And we're putting together that touring proposal right now we had a whole bunch meet, all different counties meet, actually 10. And it was a wonderful thing. And we're very grateful for that template, by the way. It's beautiful. Thank you.
She's talking about on this brochure, right here is where your state assembly or your county assembly's information goes right there. So if you are producing it, publishing it, you can put your assembly there.
It's beautiful. I know for us, we're going to be rolling it out where each state assembly member, wherever they are situated, whatever county they're on, they're going to be the one hosting the event, you know, where they'll be responsible of finding the venue, putting the notice out in the newspaper, and then we're going to do canvassing because it's not in the budget for us to do postcards. So, and we'll probably also put it on social media because that's free. But then the members that live on that county will then be introducing the state assembly officials. And so, you know, it's kind of getting both assemblies involved. And, you know, even if the counties aren't, you know, even assembled yet, at least the people on the county who are state nationals will be introducing the state assembly to the public in this public meeting. So Denise, go ahead.
Thank you, Tammy. The one thing that I noticed about those brochures, besides being so informative, I thought that they were very focused and targeted. I do see that TAZA is listed as the main connection for the piece on, you know, whatever, the TAZA at AmericanStateNationals.com, right? The website. That puts us at a massive disadvantage. And the reason is several states, I'd say more than 5, have reported to certain individuals at the federation and state levels that when they put an inquiry in through TAZA, it's going to a person, it never gets answered. So we're spending all this time and money on these brochures. If we can remove that and allow the assemblies themselves to work on that, and also the claimyourinheritance.info, which is amazing. I love that website. Is there a way that claimyourinheritance.info could potentially go to another, I'll call it catch-all email, that we can make sure if people are coming in on those channels that they're serviced or answered? Because I know that virtually all coordinators taking in that TAZA that I tested never got back to me. That was over 20 states. I yield.
Those are good questions. So TASA, the website itself is an informational website. So it has a lot of information there for people to glean on. Now, the tweaks that you're saying that other assemblies may have, tweaks they want to do too. So I want you all to take the liberty, if you want to create another brochure of your own, have your specific tweaks to it, or you want it to go to another website, another landing page, you can use this information here and create your own to have the little nuances that you want to have on it. But for this one, this one stays like it is. Mm-hmm. Now,
from my understanding, these brochures are editable, right? So if they wanted to remove maybe that QR code, you could do that, correct?
Yeah, they're editable. So if you want to tweak this or use this, just take the Federation seal off of it and do the things you want to do. Now, the Federation seal is on here because she gave me permission to use it, and she's reviewed it, said, great, I approve that. So she's approved this brochure. But you have other ideas that you may want to tweak and customize to your assembly. Take that Federation seal off, put your assembly seal on it and do what you want with it. I hope that helps to answer that better, because Denise has a good point. If it goes somewhere that it is not supposed to go, I'm sorry, that's what we got to work with right now. That's who represents the State's Assembly, so that's where the information goes. But if you want to tweak it and make it your own, just take the Federation seal off, put your seal, your assembly seal on it, and tweak it to customize to you and your assembly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't want it to go to claimyourinheritance.info. Now, for that one, I want to mention this, and this is part of my next note here on my agenda. Future intent for claimyourinheritance.info website. My future intent, that website won't always be there. What I would like to happen, and this is what my initial vision was, is for me to create that website, and every assembly can take anything that's on that website and make a tab on your website that says claim your inheritance. You can put that video right there on that website, and any of these documents, the detailed research, anything that's there, make your own claim your inheritance tab on your government website. Because eventually that one won't, it won't always be there. We're going to transition and graduate from that website here eventually. Yes, Kimberly.
Thank you. I have a couple updates, and I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I had just gone ahead and reached out. I've heard from Shannon, and he said that they are okay. Kathy has reported that the earthquake was not near Big Lake, Alaska. It was offshore in the Pacific. I asked if there was any tsunami concern, and she said it was downgraded to an advisory. And that
in Alaska.
Oh.
So it sounds like they're okay, from what I'm hearing. So he said Shannon's response was, we're good. So just wanted to pass that on. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Kimberly. Any other questions about the brochures, the website? Now, as far as mistakes, any mistakes we find, send me an email. Let me know if there's anything that you see that needs to be changed. I got one that says the session, the states were called into session in 2019, not 2017. Actually, Anna's articles, some of them say 2017, some of them say 2019. As I'm researching, what I used in the video is a document that had June something, whatever, 2017 was when Jim had created the letters. Let's see which one. It was directly taken out of one of the documents, but it was referring to them returning the land and property assets back to America. That's what that was referring to, that particular date that you see in the video. So now I know I'm going to have to go back and change the date on the video to 2019. And I did find Global actually has a timeline as well that they have on their website of how the different things that happened throughout the years as Global got developed. So I'm going to use some of that information to cross-reference to the information I have. And they have 2019. I think it was May 2019 of what they had, but they don't have all the documentation of where you can go to verify that. Some of them, they have documentations that you can go verify. Other points in time, they don't have documentation. That particular one, I noticed they didn't have the documentation, but they did have a date. So, and yes, Anna approved it with that mistake in there. So we have to go back. And I'm not going to correct the video until I get enough input. It's been enough time for people to look at it and say something, because it's going to be a monster trying to re-edit that video. That video was a monster to begin with. But if you see anything, go ahead and let me know on the documents, also on the detailed research. Now, The detailed research is the only thing on this website that I needed Anna to review, but she didn't. These documents here, she didn't review. If you find anything in these documents here that you question, send it my way, and I'll dig deeper into it and see if I can find a clarification on it. But the brochures, the postcards, the video itself, Anna reviewed all of those and edited them, and that's what we have on that. And we still need to make changes. So go ahead and let me know anything that you think that need to be changed. So as far as the sovereignty and those issues, I think the video explained it well enough for that. For those don't need to be changed. Yes, Tammy.
So I noticed on the claimyourinheritance.info, there's a section up there to get in touch with your state assembly, right? Contact your state assembly. Where does that go to? Does that go to the TASA site?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I guess on the back of your brochure, I would just recommend that you put your contact info there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the back of the brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Denise is saying, you know, it's interesting, Denise, that you say that, because there was quite a few state assemblies when I was reaching out to them initially to see if I could get them on the podcast that I never heard from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that you say that. You know, I just maybe assumed, because some of them, by the way, when you go to the TASA website and you click on contact your state assembly, it makes you fill out like a generic form, and they want to know what county you're on, and it's as if you live on that state. And I just wanted to get in touch with the coordinator to you know, to schedule their podcast. And so yeah, I found it very difficult to get in touch. And I think, you know, this is an important thing for us to remember, is that if we are acting as a lawful government and we have elected officials on our government, we should be accessible to the public, meaning that our name, our email address, some point of contact for people to get in touch with us and know who we are. You know, there's really no reason to, you know, be living in fear. I think Louise kind of hit that topic, is that, you know, we have every right to assemble, and we're doing so peaceably. And, you know, we're here to get a job done. And so I think that this living in fear mentality, we have to try to get over that, and be accessible. Because if people can't find us and people can't contact us, that's a bottleneck, and that's preventing us from moving forward. So and Kimberly has her hand up. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Thank you. Louise, I was just wondering if it could be considered that maybe when you hit this or the page before, I'm sorry, I forgot the stack of it. But could you give an either or option that maybe you could do a TASA unique, and then another one that would be, or contact your state directly, and maybe do a build out kind of like what PKTF has on their website, that you could actually go hover over your state, click it, and you'd go directly to the website. I know Michigan would be very interested in having our own unique contact us show up and populate. If that would be at all possible, then there would actually be possibly two avenues for a man or woman to actually access in the event one system was potentially down. We might have a net for ourselves. I'd love to see us up there and you know, have ours pop up through this, and you know, have that association you know, with this project as well. And if we could customize a little bit, that would be really incredible. I realize that's asking a bit more work in programming, maybe not in the purview, and it could be built out in a future moment, but I'd love to see that you know, we could each have our own states represent that way, and you know, basically have a direct path. So thank you. I yield.
Yes. So originally, so that's one place at the top, the tab there to contact your assembly. But the up at the bottom here, originally, I put 50 unincorporated American States Assemblies. So this one goes to the podcast, so they can see people. That was my idea. You need to see that we are real. So it goes to those, and that's another reason why it's important to do your podcast with Tammy. So people who come here will be able to locate, oh, there's my state and all the list of states down here. So that's one way that people can go to a particular state. I got the link tree down here from Belinda. Her link tree is here to the different state assemblies. So another way to go directly to your assembly. She's pretty good at keeping up to date on where the particular assemblies are. So I got that there. Then I got here, when you click on your particular state. Now, I had originally made this so that it can go directly to your website's contact page. But one day I went here, say that's Montana. So one day I went here to check and see how my links were going. And then that particular assembly's website was taken down. I think that was a time when TASA had certain assemblies on hosting certain assemblies, and then they stopped hosting certain assemblies. And I don't know who assembly is hosted and I don't know the situation of the assemblies. So I found out that some of the links were broken. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up with, well, whose assembly is actually going to, have their website at that same link next month. So I didn't know. So I changed everybody's link to go to here. And that way I was just assuming they'll keep up with wherever, whichever state a website is supposed to be linked here. I assumed that they would keep up with this, whoever keeps up with this website. I don't know. So that was the reason for me changing where all these link to. Otherwise, it would look like those assemblies who have a website, it'll go directly to their website. Other assemblies who don't have a website, it'll go to the generic general TASA website. I didn't know if that looked good or not. I could do that. So some links to just go directly to the websites of the people who got the assemblies who got their website up, and the other ones will just go to the general 50 state assemblies website. What y'all think about that? I could do that. I just didn't think it, I didn't want it to look like some people was represented and other people weren't. Other assemblies weren't.
May I?
Go ahead, Kimberly. Then we'll get to you, Annette. I'm assuming Kimberly wants to.
Oh, I was going to speak on topic unless Annette was there first, please. I was looking in a different direction. I can yield.
No, it's good. Go ahead, Kimberly. I'm going to build on what you were saying.
Thank you, love. I appreciate that. I'm sorry to have interjected. Just with what you had said there, I don't know, again, programming wise, if it would be possible to do those of us that have states that would be willing to commit to make sure we keep current with you. If we could potentially go unique with that, and then for the other states, so they didn't have a fall off, be backed up by the TASA one like you've just shown there. Would that be possible, or is that just a nightmare for you?
No, it's not a nightmare. I can, as long as I can go find what your link is. See, I didn't know where everybody's website was.
I'll be happy to supply that for you. Are you looking to do home pages or contact us pages? Do you have a preference?
See, I didn't know that either. I was like, should I put the link to contact us page, or should I put the link for the home page of the assembly?
Well, I would say that our home page is prettier than our contact us page. And
That's true.
I guess home pages are meant to be that way versus the contact us. Maybe we got to get a little more glamorous in those. So it's a point to consider I hadn't considered before this moment. But I can certainly, we have an outreach meeting tomorrow, so I can certainly pitch this and see what would be preferenced on Michigan. And of course, every state can do their own that way, but yeah, I'd be happy to go ahead and supply that with you if we could get connected to that properly and customized. We'd love that. And certainly not to any, any deficit of any other assembly. And if we need to just, kind of stay congruent just for that, I like the idea of backup and redundancy. So you've got my message. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to get that for you if you're willing to work with it. I yield.
Okay, well, I can change the links who have a website and go ahead and put those there. I'm going to use Valinda. She already built all this. I'm going to go there and see what assemblies have links and what assemblies don't, and just use that. And if you have a preference of whether you want your link to go to your contact page or whether you want it to your home page, send me an email. Otherwise, I'm going to send it to your contact page. And so Annette, was it Annette? Or...
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. So it's kind of building on what Kimberly was saying. As a model county, I know we're asking too much probably, but is there a way that anyone on Florida that is maybe considering being a organizer might be able to contact a model county to ask all those questions? Because not every state is communicating that to them about the counties. Or is that asking like way too many links?
Are you saying like have links to counties?
To the model county for each state.
Oh, a model county for each state. Oh, I didn't thought about that. Let me, well, I mean, it's extra work, but I think it's worthy of a consideration of putting that extra work in, because the model counties have a responsibility of rallying all the counties in that state. So they would they would take on the responsibility of contacting whatever state need to be contacted. Let me think about that and see what it would require me to do. Now, we don't have model counties for every state yet, though, either.
Well, that would build, right, as that comes on?
Yeah, it would build, but I'm saying right now, if I put it on there, I mean, put it on the website, it will look like something's missing.
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there because that was proposed to me at the meeting of the 10 other counties, that they're saying, hey, we need to ask you this and we need to ask you that, and nobody knew the contact. And so
Yeah.
The model counties tend to be, and I'm not implied anything, but they tend to be very accessible.
Yeah. Let's build our model counties some more. We have about 5 or 6 states represented. So I don't know, because to be a model county, there's a little short process. I mean, I need it in writing that you are going to agree. Your assembly has voted to, yes, I want to be a model county and take on the responsibilities of doing the county tours and rallying all the counties together to organize the United States. So I would like to have a model county, more of the model counties represented, more of the states represented by model counties before putting that up, I think.
Okay, or that the states would agree to put a tab for the model county for anyone that wants to contact them about, how do you organize?
Oh,
just throwing it out there.
Okay, so then your state then, so when these links, you're saying when these links though, go to the state assembly, the state assembly website have a model county link on it?
That would work as well. Whatever works for whatever. You guys are very creative. I'm not going to step on your toes. You are brilliant.
Oh, well, I mean, I was thinking that's what you were saying, but are you saying put it here on this list?
Either or. Anyway, just because people are just saying they're not getting the responses that they really need.
Right.
And the more people that they can contact the more likelihood that they're not going to forget about us or you know, change their minds, because there's a lot of people that they think in the moment, right, and they want to know, and we really do want to capture, sort of like the chocolate bars at the checkout, that you gotta keep them when they're thinking about it, and then have an opportunity to plant that seed's planted. Now can we build it into a plant or a tree?
Okay, so well, you see this, what Belinda has done. You see Belinda's link tree. She has the California Assembly, the Los Angeles County, California Assembly. So
I like-
here, the Marion County, Florida Assembly.
Yeah, I
You
like
know, so
that.
she has some of the counties that are represented that she knows about on here. So
'Cause
I can maybe get with Belinda and give her some more information about the counties to add to this link tree.
That would be nice. We have a really good website. I hope you've had an opportunity to look at it. And we're helping other counties build their websites. And it's no criticism of the state. They've got a lot on their plates too, because they're trying to get their courts up and everything else. But it would just be nice if there's a backup that the counties that have agreed to be model counties could put that extra effort in and have that link if they have an active site.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I'll contact Belinda and see about putting at least the model counties here under their states. And as we grow, you know, then it won't look as noticeably bare without as many model counties just to be representing by itself.
Excellent, thank you. And I will throw out there, if anyone wants to do a very affordable website, we could get one going up. They can have a look at Marion counties, but we can do similar to that for under $200 if they've got someone that has a little bit of IT skills in their county assembly. And I'm happy to do that. Of course, there's no charge for that.
Okay.
Annette, do you yield?
Sorry, I already flipped it off. Yes, I yield. Sorry about that.
Okay. So I did want to mention that Karen, hi Karen, she said that Stand Up will provide links for every county at https://standup.land/. So there's that. And I wanted to also say that I thought it would be, you know, I was, you know, thinking for our assembly, at some point, I'd love to be able to do like a welcome video. So like if you had a contact page instead of, you know, it landing on your homepage, because ultimately you want them to sign up for your email, right? To get on the contact or to reach out to you, that on your landing page or for like a contact, you could put a welcome, kind of like what Anna did on the TASA website, right? And it would be, you know, from some brave soul on your assembly that would want to do it. And, you know, just welcome people to the website, kind of give them a little 2-minute elevator pitch. You know, it could be something short and sweet, and then welcome them to, you know, to contact you. But this way they see you, they hear from you, and they know who you are. And, you know, they can sign up to be on your contact list, because that's ultimately what we're hoping to do, right? Just an idea, just to throw that out. I yield.
Any other questions about that section? All right. So let me finish up here. Phase 1A2 was launched. Okay. As you're out there doing your county tours now, strategically, and ideally, the strategy should go like this. In my mind, this is ideally how your strategy should go. I had to ask myself the questions: can state assemblies actually hold a public meeting? because a public meeting is the townspeople calling a public meeting in the county. So, and I'm thinking about how the de facto runs their business now. In a county, in order for the states to come into the county to hold meetings, they need to speak to the county government, quote unquote, the head in that county first, in order for them to come in there in respect of the jurisdictions. So ideally, I'm thinking the same way. The people that are in my town don't take lightly to anyone outside the town coming in here saying anything to us. So ideally, and I think I laid this out in the implementation guide, is there's 2 tours. Whereas the county invites the state in for that public meeting in their county, and they're introducing the state assembly government at that time. That's the first meeting. Then the state assembly moves on to the next county that's going to sponsor it, and that county, while that state assembly moves on to the next county that's going to host them, there's a second public meeting happening back at the first county, where that county now is going to the next level of introducing what it looks like for that town or those towns in that county to start self-governing, because now we have to talk to them about towns organizing. The county would be responsible for that level. See, and that would be happening while the states are still going from county to county to county. So can you envision that with me? Every county would invite their state assembly for the first public meeting. But then that state assembly moves on to the next county, but this same county has to have a second meeting to get deeper into the logistics of self-governing as a town, because that's another level that we need to talk to the public about. So there's 2 meetings in one county, actually, 2 public meetings. And out of respect for the jurisdictions, I think that's ideally how it needs to go, where the state assemblies are hosted by the counties and they move on from county to county, while the county itself, after the state moves on, it goes into the next level of communicating with the townspeople of how they self-govern as a town. So that's how I see that going. Now, while the county assemblies are doing that, the state assemblies are doing that, we have phase 3 happening. Now, phase 3 is where the transference of government happens, led by our peacekeepers. And they're also doing county tours. So this is how I'm visioning that going. Now, if you look at the public meeting announcement that I put in the ice drive, one of the main speakers, I would have one of the main speakers be the county sheriff. At that first meeting, the county sheriff would speak. And the peacekeepers and sheriff's organization has launched their organization in their platform, and I'm going to lean on them to help me lay out the logistics of the phase 3, because as I'm thinking about it, I think it is important that the peacekeepers lead in this to the degree of being one of the faces out there, because I'm concerned about the civil unrest and the civil protests that has potential to happen. And you can read in my implementation guides how I talk about civil unrest. If the peacekeepers are the face of our county tours, one of the faces of our county tours, that will prevent some of that instigation, civil unrest, civil protests happening. Because what we are doing is transferring the government into our hands. Some of the people, especially the patriots, may not take kindly to that. So phase 3 There's going to be some collaboration there between the peacekeepers and the counties and state assemblies doing their tours, and they should should collaborate this together. Now, there's other places, specific places that the peacekeepers have to visit in that county, like the county sheriff or the attorney generals or the governor. I mean, the peacekeeper is going to have to go visit these people, but the assemblies are just having a public meeting. So there's a collaboration that has to happen between the peacekeepers and the assemblies as they're making these tours. So ideally, they want to do them together, collaborate so that they're doing them at the same time. Of course, not everything that these two groups are going to be doing is going to be at the same time. They're going to have their own time schedule, but they do want to collaborate as much as possible to be there at the same time at the public meetings. So we're going to talk more about that in our next strategy task force session on the 27th, about how our peacekeepers, the county sheriffs, the PKTF liaisons, the continental marshals, how they'll all play a role in this transference strategy. So we have that coming up, and then I put in the chat strategy task force interim report that talks a little bit about that. You can see that and read over that. There's the link to where the peacekeepers execution planning session. I have a series running with that too. You can watch those videos there. Go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say the PSO has an addition, the PSOA, which are advocates for the county reeves. And there's going to be a lot of stuff rolling out here probably in the next couple of weeks and months. But they're there basically to help out with community oversight, outreach, administrative stuff, paperwork, education, to kind of take some of that load off of the PSO and then the reeves themselves with their additional duties. So plan for your email to get blown up here really soon. With that, I yield.
So Adam is the founder of the PSO, which is the Peacekeepers and Sheriffs Organization, him and Andrew. And the work that they're doing, the vision that they've started is just blowing me away. It's like exactly what needs to happen in phase 3, the collaboration of the peacekeepers, and that they work together to execute this plan, because each one of them have a role and they're in different jurisdictions. So every jurisdiction has a role in this resurgence project. And that's how it was developed, because everybody have a part to play. So we're going to talk more about that in the Peacekeepers execution planning session on the 27th. And there's the link there to that meeting. Phase 4 and 5 has started. We didn't slow down. We went ahead and start developing phases 4 and 5. And what phases 4 and 5 is the website platforms. So we had the Resurgence newsletter that we had started, which was the preliminary step to our news blog. So what I do have a volunteer from Terra Australis, actually, who wants to be the editor of the newsletter, but then the publisher of the newsletter, but then I didn't have an editor. So what I decided to do with the one volunteer is to go ahead and shift into just creating the news blog. It's easier to go on and use a WordPress platform and start blogging. That's easier than to lay out a newsletter, actually, that you have to learn how to use a publishing software. So with the volunteer on Terra Australis, is she here? Is Michaela? Is Michaela here?
No, I don't think so, Louise.
Okay. So what we're going to do is start, she's practicing now on using the WordPress blog. We're going to start the actual news blog site that way. What the assemblies need to start doing now that we're launched the project and you're organizing yourself to go do your county tours, put on your to-do list is have someone document the news. Recorder, video news, written news, somebody out there asking questions to the public that's in the audience, however you want to do your news. But every time you go out, have some reporter there from your assembly that's going to come back with the news and send it to me. We will publish it on the news. That's how our news site is supposed to start. That's how we envisioned it. So send your news reports to me, and then the PKTF also has a news publication, a newsletter publication that we will also be able to publish it there too. This will give us some feedback of what's happening on the ground and give us some inspiration too. Seeing that the assemblies are actually out there making it happen, getting it done, standing up to the public and letting them know we're here. Yes, Tammy?
I don't want to, volunteer her or put her on the spot, but I know Kimberly has been taking some pretty brave and bold steps on trying to blaze the process of claiming back her land. I think that would be a notable news reporting, actually. Kimberly, I'll let you speak on behalf, but those are the kind of news reporting that I envision us giving for our progress anyway. And it also highlights some of the criminal behavior that is happening all across our states. Do you want to speak on behalf of that, Kimberly? Or I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No problem. No, not at all. Not at all a worry, Tammy. I would be happy to have anyone learn about this or have information on what I'm doing. If it's helpful to others, that's fantastic. And the witness is very helpful at this point, just to have eyes on it. And I think just that alone is adding to. I'm not just out here alone when the de facto is looking at me, and I think I really am not sure where the tide is right now. You've got all sorts of different things going on. I personally, I would love to be able to do that kind of thing, but I don't have the time for it because I'm basically having to do other things. But if anyone out there is a reporter and they want to do a report on me or interview, I'd be happy to do it. I just don't have, I just can't pull it to center right now because I'm up to it and other things. But that's not to say that in a future moment when I'm a little less saturated with this kind of things, Joe and I had talked about that as well. And I love the opportunities that PKTF is bringing forward. And also with this, Louise, it just is amazing how much, if somebody were interested in doing this kind of thing, how much is open for you to start to do this right now. Normally these are platforms that you would have to pay for, that, you're going to have, not get exposure. And, basically people are coming forward and going, hey, would you like to do it? Would you like to do it? So it really is just a matter, I think, of men and women stepping to do this and start to report. I do have many, many things as I've progressed through the last year or so that, I should put in articles, and, I'll tell Joe about it in brief report. And he's like, an article. I'm like, Joe, I'm not you. I can't even process that fast. So I'd love to, but I'm not. So, I mean, anybody that's interested and wants to know anything about this, if you want to write it, great. I'm happy to talk about it. So.
May I?
Of course.
So I know there's something out there called AI that some people love and some people hate. But I do know that it is a great tool uh, for these kinds of things, especially for a lot of us that don't have the time. But what I would say for me, what I think the public, as far as reporting goes, needs to see the criminality in which in how it's taking place with your process. And perhaps if you are videotaping it, and I'm sure you probably are videoing it, That alone is reporting all in of itself. And so if there's any, you might be able to take that and maybe um, tap in some AI information if you type in, what happened, put that together and bam, But I do think, that we have to have somebody that has some reporting skills and can put these types of things together. I think that would be so beneficial to our assemblies. And I think that once we start spotlighting the criminality, I think that's when the tables are going to start to shift because now the eyes are on them, where the eyes have not been on them. And this is why they were able to get away with what they've been getting away with for as long as they've been getting away with it. And so, yeah.
I agree, and I would love to have, some exposure on these folks just because it's just your brain can't take it on. I mean, it's so criminal that it's just well, I find words for a lot of things, and I really can't find words for this. So
It is, yeah, it kind of leaves you speechless because,
it does.
yeah.
Yeah, it does. And, I think that it really just, at this point, I guess I'm trying to figure out how in honor to be graceful with these things. I've been doxxed. I've, had my name splayed out and, public records and things like this. And, I don't want to be eye for eye or tit for tat. How do you report? I mean, so some of those things as far as the ethical, I mean, do I splay these people out? Do I not? Do I?
You
So,
know what I envision, Kimberly? Not to cut you off, but
no, go for it.
it just popped in my head and I just think it's noteworthy. Like I envision, because like when you told me that they cut your water off, I mean, that like boiled my blood.
2 years on 2 years on the 12th. So yes, I'm just past my 2-year mark
But
without
I
water.
almost,
And
it
now they're
feels,
threatening my power, and I may actually have to cut that in the next few days.
this is where a reporter, like somebody like a James O'Keefe,
They won't touch it. I've actually talked to Kennedy at the O'Keefe, and they won't touch it. They
wow,
won't touch it.
wow.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yes,
It's
it's like
shocking.
getting in their face and putting a microphone up to these people and being like, how do you feel shutting off the power of an American who, I mean, these are just things like somebody that has
Well,
courage.
the criminality of it isn't so much that they're shutting it off, is they're putting me to the position I have to shut it off to block them,
Right.
not be a customer. So, they like twist and turn the tables and so forth.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, and great, I'm glad it didn't happen over the winter as they threatened in October. We got this far, so if I go down now, at least it's summer, it will be unpleasant, that's for sure. And we're just gonna have to see. But you know what? Maybe I'm gonna learn to live off grid, and there's gonna be an amazing group of men and women that are gonna go, oh no, no, and they're great at off grid living, and they're gonna, come forward and be able to help me. That's what, I'm putting out to the Lord and the universe that if there's anything that can come this way that, makes it that we can go through with this and hold our ground. It was a different thing. They ruled against me on Monday, and I went up and I basically rebutted the whole judgment and everything today, took it back into the courthouse. And it's really quite interesting because today they were really smiley. So it was either that they're respecting me differently, or they're just thinking that they won and it's it, and I'm just this silly little sovereign citizen woman. Well, unfortunately, they'll find out differently soon enough. With this, I know I stand in absolute right here, and so it's just going to be a matter of seeing what's next. But what is next is potentially chainsaws showing up to basically deforest me, and I'm not going to let that happen.
And I think, when I sit back and think about what they're doing, I know a lot of these people are just, quote unquote, doing their job. But there comes a day, this is what I have a hard time wrapping my head around. We already know the outcomes in history of people that did horrific things because they were just doing their job. And it goes back to that saying that if you don't know history, it's going to repeat itself. And so I have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that people can sit there doing criminal activity and just saying, I'm just doing my job.
Or laughing at you. Well, they say that. The laughing
Right?
at
Because there's a level
is
of,
the harder part actually to
yeah. Well,
just
there's a level of arrogance because they're in this position of authority. And that's the other thing I learned in,
puppeting, go down to this window, or,
Yeah.
do, just nuisance things that are just to show they have power. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's very demeaning and not
Yeah.
nice. Not nice.
Anyway, we digress, but I definitely think that these types of stories, especially the one that you are experiencing right now, really needs to be reported on. But Adam has had his hand up. Adam, go ahead.
I was gonna feed into that. There's a 5-year rule. All of the negotiable instruments that you autograph, that they call affidavits, motions, etc., they receive compounding interest daily on the private side of the stock exchange that they're trafficking us. You have pretty much the right as the principal interest to reclaim all of that interest. That would be through their clerk of court. Take it from there, higher if you have to. But the sooner we start hitting them in their pockets for this securities fraud, the better off we're all going to be. But that isn't an emolument violation whenever these bad actors are being paid to break the law to enforce their legal. So I'll yield on that, give you something to think about.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's my head's too swampy to take it on. I have so many things that I still have to do and processes I've never done before. And I think that's what all this has really just been so much more difficult, is every one of these steps is an absolute new step that you have to create. So it takes so much more energy to do it and to figure out all this. I mean, I've had wonderful help from, so many across the lands, and I'm so grateful, with the great minds that come in with litigation things or this word pattern or so forth. But it's really incredible and so many options, but when it comes to some of those things, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm at the complete mercy of this and just rolling with it, doing my best. But I know that avenue is there, Adam, but it doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm on lean things at this point that I've never done, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't even know what order to go first anymore. So I'm just going with whatever fire's on fire and dealing with it and trying. So it's just a Hail Mary everywhere in my world right now. And so that's what it is. But I appreciate it. I just don't comprehend it. So thank you. I yield.
Awesome. All right. Well, Louise, was there anything else that you wanted to cover with the project?
I just want to show, let me see if I can show this. The last thing I want to show, the pages 4 and 5, we are also, we're starting on the news, but we were starting on the official American government's website, and the official library too. So those are the other 2 things that we have in the works. I was going to show you my little mock-up here of where we are. I'm about ready to send this over to Anna.
We aren't seeing your screen if you're thinking you're showing us. Excuse me.
I'm not showing you yet because I gotta find it.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if that was the case.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what I'm sending over to Anna to have her tell me what she thinks. So give me a moment here. Website design. Here we go. Uh-oh. Let me share my screen. Know what happened to it. So give me a moment. Share.
While you're looking for that, Louise, I wanted to share that our IT woman has really done a wonderful job collecting a huge amount of just resources, all the law books and Bibles and these kind of things that she's put together in a very tight place. So if that is something that you are still looking for resources, she may be a wealth of information to help, and I'm sure she would be very excited to be able to contribute. So I don't want to volunteer that without confirming with her, but she has really put together quite something that way that we're working on Michigan on how to use that, but it may be something that is definitely worthy of making libraries. So just wanted to offer that some of that work may already be done for you. So just so you know, you may not have to recreate a wheel. So thanks, I yield.
Sure. Thanks, Kimberly. Can you connect me with her? You can send her my email.
Absolutely. I think you may have actually spoken with her once before, but yes, I'll be very happy to do that.
Okay. All right. So you can see my screen now, right? Everybody?
Yes.
So this is the draft that we've all decided. Yep, we want green. Yep, we want the wider letters. That's the one. Okay. So I'm gonna send this over to Anna for her to take a look and see if this has the content that she thinks is appropriate for our official American government website, and give me input on anything she thinks needs to go on there that's not on there. This is just the home page, but I have other pages like the Meet Our Fiduciary page, the self-service portal. We will be building an LRO to this as well. Aaron said that he can whip it up here for us once he gets, he's working on the database official library right now, but and other stuff. He also is working on a property case too, but he's kind of caught up right with that right now. But once he gets done with that, he's going to build us LRO to go also with this site. So this is what I'm going to give to Anna. I'm going to do a little video of it and send it over to her, since she hasn't had the time to meet with us for our business meeting, for our PKTF meeting. So I'm trying to make it easier. See if she can watch the video real quick so we can get this part moving along. So that's where we are with the official American government website, phase 5, 4, and 5 there.
I love it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. These little icons. So we need anybody, graphic artists out there, and anybody who's a programmer. Always can use programmers. Aaron is like, yeah, that looks good, but we can do better. I'm like, okay, we can work with that one first. I'm like, well, if we can do better, y'all better come on now. But yeah, but this is what we're going to work with for right now. Ayo.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that breakdown of the project. And I think in meetings to come, it will be nice if there's anybody that's actually rolling out the project as of now. I know for us on the New Jersey Assembly, we're looking at a tentative date in October to start, and perhaps do one every other month, just to start us out. And so once we begin our tours, we'll be able to report back. But it'll be great to hear how everybody else's tours are going. And that's it. So if anybody else has anything they'd like to share, or if they have any questions about the project or anything that we covered tonight. Otherwise, we will end the meeting for tonight and reconvene at a later date. Anybody?
Do we know our next meeting, Tammy? Have you scheduled?
Yes. We will reconvene on Wednesday, August 13th.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, this month was a little funky because we had, I think the first or the second fell on a Wednesday, and there was like 5 Wednesdays in the month. And I figured since the first week was kind of like the week of the 4th of July, that we would just kind of not even include that as the first week. So, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I wasn't seeing it on mine, but I think something cut off on my printout here. So I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. Well, it was a great meeting, and thank you so much. Louise, thanks for your time with this project and for everybody's input. And good luck with your outreach efforts for this month, and saying extra prayers for Kimberly and everything that you're going through.
Excuse
And
me, may I forgot
oh
something,
yeah, go ahead.
Tammy. I did put in the chat a document. It's called the American State National Campaign. It is Joe had put together a campaign just for the American State National. You'll read I did talk about that on one of the modules, assembly modules. So if you get in the chat, there is one that I will bring it up here real quick if I could find it, if I remember where it was. But I don't see where it is right now.
Which was the name, Louise? There's
Oh,
5
here it
here.
is. It says Individual ASN Resurgence Campaign.
Got it. Okay, and that was not included in our notes for this evening?
Yes, it is. It's in the chat.
I'm sorry, in the email that came to us. Is that in the email that came for the meeting tonight, or is this an addition for what came? I think this is an addition.
No, it's not in the email that came to you all.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
for clarifying. I appreciate that. I'll grab those.
So go over this. If anyone who wants to get started on executing the Resurgence Project, just as your own self, this is a blueprint for you. So you don't have to wait on your assembly to get organized. You can get started on your own. So that's what this particular handout is for. And I do go over this handout in the last strategy task force meeting if you want to get the details of how it is all laid out. But it's all written out there. Thanks to Joe. He wrote it out there plain and simple for you to follow day by day. And it has planning routes, different outreach tips, has your little timeline, Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday, do this, second weekend, follow up. So it's really a good laid out blueprint if you want to start your own individual Resurgence Project launch. Yes, I just wanted to mention that. I forgot to mention. Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, no problem. Where is that? I'm trying to find that in the chat.
Yep, it is in the chat.
What is it labeled? Because I have session 18, strategic overview. Oh, individual. Got it. I got it.
Okay.
Individual ASN resurgence. Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Okay, thank you so much. And, till next time, well, we'll see you all August 13th.
Thank you, Tammy.
Good
Good night, everybody.
To you guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Good luck in that. Thank you, Tammy, for hosting
You
this.
too, Kimberly.
Thank
Sounds like you need a lot of soul protection and a lot of love and hugs coming your way.
Hugging y'all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and sending you all the same back. Pray for you all the time. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.